Today of 88 degrees. Right now it's 70.
Where are people 6 months after the California wildfires? We'll check in with one.
Marketplace Morning Report is supported by Schwab. Schwab knows that investors want control of their financial future. That's why when it comes to wealth management, Schwab is dedicated to giving investors more choices. More at schwab.com.
I'm David Brancaccio in Los Angeles. First, the company that's working to put more consumerism into midsummer has started its thing. Amazon's early July sale, Prime Day, used to be a day. Now it's 4, and Amazon is not alone. This as people shop mindful of tariffs and other inflationary pressures. Marketplace's Nova Safo reports.
It's not just Amazon. Competitors Walmart and Target are extending their own online sales events this week, all kicking off today. And analysts think the strategy will work in getting wary consumers to part with their dollars. Overall, Adobe Digital Insights predicts e-commerce sales will rise 28% over the next 4 days, bringing in an impressive $24 billion in the U.S. Amazon will get the bulk of that. Last year, Adobe says online sales rose 11%, driven in large part by spending on back-to-school necessities. This year, more of the same, but also consumers looking to get ahead of tariff-related price increases will be looking for deals on things like electronics and apparel. We saw signs of similar shopping trends earlier this year. Many third-party sellers who utilize online marketplaces stocked up ahead of tariffs, so online discounting could still be relatively strong. Other independent businesses, though, are said to be sitting out Prime Day, wanting to preserve inventory because of tariff uncertainty. I'm Nova Safo for Marketplace.
Dow futures are down 0.1%. S&P futures are up 0.1%. NASDAQ futures up 0.3% now. The take your shoes off at the X-ray machine thing has been going on for 19 years now, but now TSA and Homeland Security say you'll now get to keep shoes on at lots of airports, according to multiple published reports.
Marketplace Morning Report is supported by Mercury. Mercury offers banking and financial software to help businesses do more in one place. Learn more at mercury.com. And by This Old House Radio Hour podcast, answering listeners' DIY and renovation questions and diving into home design trends, available in podcast apps.
While the terrible Southern California wildfire along the coast was already burning by then, today marks 6 months since what became known as the Eaton Fire ravaged the town of Altadena, about a half-hour northeast of downtown Los Angeles. More than 9,000 structures burned in just that fire, most of them homes, one of them mine. Today, checking in with one of my neighbors and colleagues, Lucy Russo is Development Events Manager at our sibling organization, Southern California Public Radio, LAist, whose home was destroyed a block and a half over from us. She joins us from where she's been living temporarily with her husband and kids, 375 miles away in the San Francisco Bay Area. Hey, Lucy.
Hey, David.
There's a big poster that one of the local businesses put up in the parking lot. It's about probably 8 feet tall, and it maps all the houses destroyed in our town. The immediate destruction zone is beyond anything many people have ever experienced. You must have had to find temporary shelter, and you have kids. Where are you?
We're actually in Northern California. The kind of best option that I could think of immediately after the fire was to come up to my parents' house, where I grew up. So my kindergartner was able to slot right into actually the school that I went to when I was a kid. And we found a nearby preschool that had an opening for my preschooler.
So you're going to try to rebuild? He laughed nervously. It's not easy.
Yeah, a lot of people have told me things that make me worry a little bit, and I'm choosing to ignore them. I have a lot of concern about what the neighborhood is going to look like when we get back. We chose Altadena for a reason. And if it doesn't look like that anymore when we get back, then we might not want to live there. But in that scenario, we sell our newly rebuilt custom house and decide where we want to live instead. But in the meantime, we can maximize insurance payouts and take advantage of the low mortgage rate that we got when we bought our house.
Have you gotten anyone to draw up plans for a replacement house for you?
We have an architect. It was somebody that we had a pre-existing relationship with. For a bunch of reasons, we're not going to actually rebuild like for like, as the term is. We're planning to rebuild a bigger house so that we can stay there indefinitely.
I got to say, you can tell me about your experience. One of the biggest frustrations is, well, I want this kind of a roof because it's more fire resistant. Nobody can tell me how much it would be per square foot to make the roof, or kind of anything else, given upward pressure on labor, tariffs, stuff like that. Are you finding that?
Absolutely. There's so many unknowns. And when we try to calculate the different cost options, it's virtually impossible. I think a lot about also the impact of immigration and the ICE activity in Southern California on labor. And when it comes time to hire a crew, I have no idea what that's going to look like.
Lucy Russo at Southern California Public Radio, the LAist folks. She's essentially a colleague and one of 4 people at that one public media outlet who lost their homes completely in what's called the Eaton Fire. As many as 20 others at LAist were displaced. In that Eaton Fire, 9,400 structures were destroyed, mostly homes. In the Palisades Fire to the west of us, at the same time, 6,800 structures were destroyed. Lucy, thanks for taking the time.
Sure thing, David. I'm happy to help a neighbor.
Lucy tells me her family's plan is to move out of her parents' house back to Southern California before the new school year starts and into a rental. Investigators are looking at evidence the Eaton Fire broke out under high-tension power lines left on in hurricane-force winds. Circumstances mean I'm learning a lot about fire-resistant winds. Circumstances mean I'm learning a lot about fire-resistant building and the complexity of getting planning permission and permits. Coverage is here. Marketplace's half-hour show later in the day and Marketplace online. In Los Angeles, I'm David Brancaccio with our morning report. From APM, American Public Media.